Hello and welcome to Pamplin Gymnasium on the campus of Lewis and Clark College for a Northwest Conference matchup between the visiting Whitman College Blues and your Lewis and Clark College Pioneers. Both teams coming off of 3-0 results last night. Lewis and Clark playing the top team in the Northwest Conference, the top program in the Northwest Conference, as Whitworth University has been on top most of the past couple of years. They fell 3-0 but played competitively against the Pirates in that one. Caitlin Jensen having a strong night for Lewis and Clark with 10 kills, hit .207. 5 kills from HB Schuett, 4 from Isabel Melion Williams, and leading the team in digs was the first-year Aria Potts. On the opposite side, Whitman moved to 3-2 in conference play this year after winning just 5 conference matchups in 16 attempts a year ago. They swept George Fox 25-20, 25-21, and 25-13. It was Lily Thompson leading the Blues, 13 kills against just 1 error, hit .706 in that victory, along with 2 solo blocks and 4 block assists. Addie Belt added 8 kills, and Arena Gashina had 6 kills on 22 attempts to go along with 10 digs. Let's take a look at the team stats for these two sides. And typically they match up pretty well, as Whitman does have the edge in a couple of areas. Lewis and Clark is towards the bottom in most offensive spaces, but the Pioneers have the edge in both. It's pretty close in blocks. They are the better team in terms of aces. That could be an area if Lewis and Clark is going to spring the upset that they would have the advantage. Both teams defensively struggle, giving up a opposing hitting percentage of over 20%. So we'll see if Lewis and Clark, if they're going to pull off a win during this 4-game match homestand. This is their last opportunity. The Pioneers dropped a 4-setter last Saturday to George Fox, looking to defeat the Blues here in Portland before they open up fall break next Thursday. Right now, we are going to take a look at the new mascot video. Lewis and Clark announced on Friday the mascot that will replace Pioneers, and we'll take a look just at who the winner is right now.
Well, I gotta say, this was far from automatic. This took a lot of work to get done, and I thought I was dead until we got to that otter station, and that was a real lift for us, but we're real excited. I have a lot of people to thank for all the support in this journey.
River Otter, thank you so much. And to the whole Lewis and Clark community, we couldn't be more thankful for your process. We are thrilled to have our new mascot and cannot wait to celebrate with you all. Excellent. Yep, you're moving around and come on back. Yep, keep a dynamic camera.
Oh my God!
This is brilliant. Yes. Run it back. Run it back. Yes. Okay, can we do the same thing, but this time? Cut. Cut. Come on back.
Welcome back to Pamplin Gymnasium. Right now, let's take a look at our players to watch in this one. First, for the visiting Blues, it's Arena Gushina, who leads the team this year in kills. Gushina, a sophomore out of Woodinville, Washington, attended the Innovation Lab High School. You see the numbers, 111 kills, 59 digs, and 11 blocks. She's had double-digit kills 6 matches this season to lead the Blues. On the flip side, it's Lewis and Clark's top hitter, Caitlin Jensen, had one of her best conference matches last night, 10 kills at 207. She's the team leader in both kills and digs, and also one of the team leaders in aces. Right now, let's bring you the starting lineups before we get to the national anthem. First, we'll start with the visiting Blues. It'll be Lily Thompson, who had that big match last night in the win over George Fox. The setter is Haley Pruce, the sophomore out of Maui, Hawaii. Sammy Holmer will be on the outside alongside Addie Belt. Arena Gushina is the outside hitter, and the middle is Kendall Herman. We'll take a commercial break and be back with the Lewis and Clark starters after this.
Broadcast on PIO Stream is brought to you by the Lewis and Clark Alumni Marketplace. Go to lcpioneers.com/marketplace and search for products and services offered by Lewis and Clark alumni, including Pacific Pines Golf and Social Club, the premier private indoor golf experience, offering 24/7 access to state-of-the-art simulators for golf enthusiasts of all levels at pacificpinesgolf.com. Whether you're looking to sharpen your game, compete in leagues, or just enjoy a round with friends, Pacific Pines Golf and Social Club provides a realistic, high-tech golf environment and a welcoming social setting just 20 minutes from Lewis and Clark College. With exclusive membership access, unlimited bookings, and a vibrant golf community, Pacific Pines Golf and Social Club brings the best of the course indoors, rain or shine. Learn more and book a demo at pacificpinesgolf.com.
Let's take a look at the Lewis and Clark starters now. It'll be Abby Warwick, the senior on the outside, suffered an injury in last week's match against George Fox, but is back healthy and available to go. H.B. Schuett finished second on the team yesterday in kills, and she will play in the middle. Araya Potts, who finished first on the team yesterday in digs with 8, will get the start. Not sure if she's not wearing the libero jersey, but she will be key on that back line. Christy San Diego, the very consistent middle, and who is not out of San Diego by chance, will be in the middle. Caitlin Jensen will be on the outside, and Ruby Kirschner will get the start as the setter. She will play all the way around as a setter and as a hitter, as Kirschner, who's one of 7 all-time setters in program history, over 1,000 assists, is off to another strong start to her season this year. She leads the team with 136 assists. Kenzie Edwards is second overall. Dealing with a little bit of a static issue, which I can hear, so I assume you can. So we're going to take one last commercial break, just a 30-second commercial, and we will be back before the start of this match, just trying to work out whatever is going on with our mixer. We are about to get underway, folks. Sorry about the static in the background. Trying to work through it, but it may just be a part of tonight's broadcast. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit louder than you can hear that static, and I'll do my best to keep you attuned to what's going on in this one as both teams huddle up before this match. Lewis and Clark with their entire group out there. Whitman with their starters. Lewis and Clark will play in their home blacks with black shorts. The liberos in the orange jerseys. It will be Raylan Sabato and Ainsley Mockery in the libero jerseys tonight. For Whitman, they go in the road navy blues. Their liberos will be in the Carolina blue. So we are about to get underway from Portland between Whitman and Lewis and Clark. Whitman off to a 3-2 start in conference. Lewis and Clark at 0-5. Mockery will check on, and Whitman's libero will check in as well. This is Jamie Bartok, the senior out of Clear Lake, Washington. And we will have the opening service of the match momentarily just below us. Looks like it will be Haley Pruce. As a little bit of miscommunication. Nice play by Potts to just keep it alive. It goes over, and Lewis and Clark will have their first set. Mockery looking for Jensen off the block and down, and Lewis and Clark off to a 1-0 advantage. That was a tricky service from Pruce, but Potts able to keep it alive, and Lewis and Clark finds Jensen for her first kill, 96th of the year. It's HB Schuett to serve for Lewis and Clark. Pushes it across, and Schuett will pump it up. It's Kirshner looking for Jensen, the tip, and Whitman reads it easily. Near side, and it's first lefty swing from Addie Belt, and Lewis and Clark forced to give the over. Through the middle this time, big swing, and it goes off the block of San Diego and out for a Whitman point as Sammy Holmer, the first year out of Linwood, Washington, puts Whitman on the board. (1-1), and we will see Holmer, who just had that kill serve for the first time. Kirshner looking for San Diego, tips, and it's popped across. A good play by the libero, Bartok. Lewis and Clark, the accidental over, and it's the middle, Kendall Herman, 6'1", first year out of Manhattan Beach, California, putting it down on the Pioneer side to give her team the 2-1 advantage. Holmer finds the hands of Potts. Lewis and Clark, good swing there from Abigail Warwick, but it's kept alive. Did that catch a piece of the hand? It did not, and it's too long off the swing from Belt. We're even at 2-2 here in set one. Pioneers will switch their liberos. Raylan Sabato, one of two seniors on this team, checks in alongside Daphne Ibrao. And it's a good serve from Daphne. Whitman forced to give the over. San Diego. Kirshner out wide for Jensen, and that was a tricky little swing. She's laughing about it. I think it was a little bit of a miss hit, but it results in a Lewis and Clark kill and a 3-2 lead. Daphne Ebro with the ace. And Lewis and Clark, who averages over 2.15 aces per set with their first of the match. Daphne, that's just her second of the season. And she returns it with just her third service error. 4-3 Lewis and Clark in the early going. Lewis and Clark will switch their liberos once again with Mockery back on. And it'll be the opposing libero, Bartok, picking out Mockery. Kirshner, once San Diego, blocked, popped up at the net. There's a joust, and Jensen will push it back across. Whitman with a second look. Awkward there for Belt, who had to back off it, and she puts it into the net. And Lewis and Clark has their first multi-point lead of the match at 5-3. Jensen back to serve. She has been a huge addition to this Pioneers lineup. The Edmonds College transfer out of Edmonds, Washington has an ace. The fortuitous bounce off the top of the tape and down, and it's a 3-point lead. Jensen second on the team now with 17 aces to go along with her 97, I believe, kills and 98 digs as she gives the side out right back. Pioneers have 2 aces, 2 service errors, and a 6-4 lead early in set 1. We will see Addie Belt, the first year out of Boise, Idaho, to serve for Whitman. Belt is 4th on the team with 7 aces. And she picks out Jensen. Tight to the net. Kirshner keeps it alive. Big swing from San Diego. Hits 3 different players, kept alive. San Diego with the block next to Kirshner. Popped across on 2. Mockery sets Isabel Melion Williams, her first swing of the night. Pushed out wide for Belt. Diving effort from Eberau, and pushing it over on 2 is Kirshner. Both setters have tried it on this long point, and that one will catch tape. Lewis and Clark, I think they were asking if it hit any piece of the block. I saw that one clear in, and it'll be a kill for Lily Thompson. Thompson third on the team with 75 kills in 45 sets prior to this set starting. 6-5 Pioneers. Melian Williams takes advantage of the solo block and just tips it over the smaller Haley Pruce. And it is 7-5 Lewis and Clark. Pioneers have led or been tied throughout the early goings of this first set. Raylan Sabato will head to the service line. Pushes Belt back towards the back. This is popped through the block, and Jensen's there for the dig. Melian Williams through the block. Running effort. Good play from Pruce. And Whitman gets it across. Kirshner backslide for Schuett, and just unable to connect, and she makes sure the Whitman player on the opposite side is okay. I like the play, just didn't quite connect there between Kirshner and Schuett. 7-6, and we will see Gushina, our Whitman player to watch, serve for the first time. Melion Williams with the kill over the block and then through the hands of Belts. 8-6. Melion Williams was the leading returning player in terms of kills from a year ago as Lewis and Clark graduated 3 of their top hitters. That service floats long off the hands of Ruby Kirshner. 8-7 in the early going, and we'll see Whitman make a pair of changes into the match for the first time is Lexi Uchima, the first year out of Hilo, Hawaii. Mockery for Kirshner, and Schuett, a big-time swing that somehow kept alive. Lewis and Clark asking for the double touch. Bench had a couple people with their hands on their head, but referees not giving the Pioneers the call. Bouncing around, and that will fall, and we're tied at 8. Officials for today's match, Tracy Schofield, is the up official, and Jason Holtz is the down official closest to the table. 8-8, a line drive that Kirshner has to step out of the way to avoid taking one to the face, and it's a service error on Uchima, and the Pioneers back ahead 9-8. Melion Williams to the hands of Bartok. Out wide, pushed across, but Kirshner read the swing from Holmer. Jensen, a little bit of a knuckleball. She shakes it off through the middle, and that's an awkward swing, but a good one from Herman, who just got that through quick enough. We're even at 9. There's been very little breathing room between the two teams. I think Lewis and Clark had a short 6-3 lead, but for the most part, it's been 1 or 2. Pioneers with 4 kills on 15 swings, 1 error. Whitman 4 kills on 17 swings, 2 errors. Potts back in the match, a service reception. Schuett's swing is kept alive off the block. Kirshner's there. Mockery will set Jensen. goes cross court. Diving effort from her knees is Bartok. Through the middle. Big swing from Gushina, but Lewis and Clark easily handles it. Cross court, and that one will bounce in. Clearly in my estimation, and Warwick has the kill. That ball looks like it bounced on the inside of the tape. And somehow they're giving it to Whitman, unless Warwick went into the net, which I may have missed. Whitman has the 10-9 advantage. Right back to Warwick, off the block. They will set the near side with Belt, and Belt off the hands of the block and down. Whitman with their first 2-point advantage. Mockery on the reception from Pruce. Out wide, Jensen, and somehow Pruce kept that alive for a moment, but unable to get it over to Gushina. Caitlin Jensen had a good match yesterday and is off to another good start. That is her second kill on 4 swings to go along with 3 digs. So she's over 100 digs for the season, and now within 3 kills of 100 as HB Shuett picks up the ace, and Lewis and Clark just like that back even at 11-all. Shuett on the service once again. Awkward reception. It'll result in another ace as Sammy Homer couldn't handle it. Back-to-back aces from Shuett. The Denver, Colorado native gives Lewis and Clark a 12-11 advantage. What can HB do here? Picks out that same corner. Different receiver, though. That was Gushina on the reception, and that is long. Attack error gives Lewis and Clark a 13-11 edge after they had just been trailing by 2. I believe it's 4 in a row for Lewis and Clark. Hitting 150 in this set. Shuett again to that back corner. This is Belt. Solo block comes in from San Diego. And we will see a timeout. Matt Helm just wants to calm his group down. Lewis and Clark with their back to their largest lead of the set at 14-11. We're going to take a look right now around the rest of Lewis and Clark athletics. This is the final contest of what has been a busy day. The cross-country team started at 9:30 and 10:20. The men's team finishing 17th out of 31 teams. The women 20th out of 28. Women's golf is leading the Pacific Invitational after day 1, and that includes a rare appearance from George Fox Women's Golf, the defending Northwest Conference champs, playing in a local event. Lewis and Clark leads the Bruins by 3 strokes after day 1. Men's golf right in it, just 7 strokes back of Willamette, who sits in first. Football, a dominant performance earlier from just about maybe 100 yards to our right. They defeated Puget Sound 58-21 after leading 21-0 early. And women's and men's soccer, they played Friday night because of the football game today. The women's team tied Whitman 1-1. The men's team fell 4-2, 2 late goals from the Blues. Those 2 teams will play Whitworth on Sunday at noon and 2:45 to wrap up what's been a busy weekend here on Palatine Hill. 14-11, Lewis and Clark with the service. HB Shuett's had 2 aces during this run and gets a accidental over. Warwick can't put it down. Going over on 2 is the Whitman setter. Shuett forced to give the over. Whitman asking for a double touch. And a big swing from Belt will end the service run either way. 14-12. Still a ton of time left in this first set. Taking the service will be Homer. Jensen for Kirschner, and Jensen cross court, handled by the libero. Good looking roll shot there from Arena Gushina, and it is 14-13 all of a sudden, back-to-back points for the Blues. It's interesting, we have not seen Kenzie Edwards to this point. Lewis and Clark has been using Kirschner as both a setter and a hitter, but to this point, Kirschner has set the entire first set. Big swing from San Diego, but they will say that there was an infraction on Lewis and Clark, and we're back to a tie, 14 all. Chance for Whitman to potentially retake the lead, but San Diego says no. A big-time swing from Christy San Diego, the junior from Gypsum, Colorado, and it's back to a 1-point advantage for Lewis and Clark. It'll be Ebro to the middle, big swing from Belt off the block and out over a diving Potts, 15 all. This first set probably has a little bit more meaning for Lewis and Clark as they look for that first win. Bartok, the Pioneers have been leading pretty much the entire set. They did trail by 2 once, as that will result in another kill from Jensen. Cruz was able to get a hand on it, but everybody was diving back and forth, and no one able to control it for the visiting Blues. It's now a team leading 3 kills from Jensen, who's 2 away from 100 in her first season with Lewis and Clark. And it'll be Jensen to serve here, already with 1 ace in the set. Through the middle and off the block and down. Lily Thompson, the senior out of Everett, Washington, gets the side out and an even score of 16 all. Coming back to take this service will be Sophie Brazumley. First time we've seen Brazumley, the junior out of Seattle, Washington. Kirshner for San Diego and almost had the kill. Good work from Homer to get there in time. And goes off the block of Kirshner and out, and it is a kill from Gushina. 17-16. Seen quite a few lead changes to this point. A rare service error from the Blues, and it's a side out and a 17 all score. Raylan Sabato to take the service, senior libero for Lewis and Clark, and she'll float it way too far. 18-17, the team's trading service errors. It's now 3 on Lewis and Clark, 2 on the Blues. Lewis and Clark forced to give the over. Pushed back out wide. That looked like it went off the block of Kirshner, and it did. So it's a kill for Homer and a 2-point lead for Whitman. 19-17 Whitman. Another service for Gushina. Kirshner wants Melion Williams back into the match. Pop back across. And miscommunication, and Lewis and Clark gives the over, but not punished by it. A second over from the Pioneers. An awkward jump shot from behind the line, and it's Melion Williams a roll shot. Neither team has been in system at all during this point. Kirshner, awkward and mockery, went across the line and will be called for it. Nothing she could do there as she was forced to dive just to keep it alive. 20-17. Head coach Erin Labasan has both of her timeouts available, but she's going to play through this down by 3. Largest lead of the set for Whitman. The Pioneers have led by 3 multiple times. Kirshner cross on 2, but too strong, and Gushina didn't have to move. Right to the middle of the Pioneers defense. Jensen for Schuett, and it's 21-17, and here comes the timeout. We will take a timeout along with the teams, or at least an audio break, and be back for potentially the conclusion of this first set. It's 21-17 Whitman late in set 1.
Broadcast on Pio Stream is brought to you by the Lewis and Clark Alumni Marketplace. Go to lcpioneers.com/marketplace and search for products and services offered by Lewis and Clark alumni, including EV Nails, creating INA-inspired nail designs online at evnails.com. Founder Lee Howe Willing started EV Nails from a desire to see more of her culture and identity reflected in the beauty industry. EV Nails offers easy-to-use, long-lasting gel nail art and accessory kits that utilize storytelling in design to uplift marginalized voices and increase inclusivity. At EV Nails, we believe in a world where individuals and communities are accepted and loved for who they are, and everyone has a voice and the freedom to express themselves authentically. Go to evnails.com for gel nail strips, bundles, and gift sets that empower people to be their authentic selves and highlight their beauty and uniqueness.
Whitman with their largest lead of set one, 21-17. It has been a 4-0 run for the Blues. Jensen for Kirschner, big swing from Schuett, and that will end the service run. Pioneers back within 3, still a little bit in the danger zone with Whitman just 4 points away from taking the set, but that was a huge reaction from Lewis and Clark out of the timeout to immediately get the side out. Second kill of the set for Schuett, and Kirschner will head to the service line and again puts it long. It's now 4, make it 5 service errors on Lewis and Clark to go along with 4 aces, but critical mistakes late here in the set as Uchima will give it right back. Whitman has no aces to 3 errors, so teams trade points. Whitman can do that a little bit more easily than the Pioneers, who still trail by 3, 22-19. Isabel Melion Williams from the service line, and she picks out the libero there. That's Bartok. That's a Pioneer break, is swinging it right into the net was Kendall Herman. And it's 22-20 as that never got over on 3. Melion Williams from the service line. Reception from Gushina, and it's going to be Gushina there coming up with a kill. Caught the top of the net and got down just in front of Kirschner. 23-20, Mockery on for Sabato. Potts for Melion Williams. Whitman can afford to trade point for point at this point. Lewis and Clark needs a run of at least 3. Jensen, a miscue on the reception, and Whitman with set point here. 24-20. Lewis and Clark will use their final timeout of the set. We'll keep it here for the 1:15 break as the Blues have really turned it on late. Lewis and Clark led or were tied for most of this first set. The Pioneers had a 14-11 lead, but since then it has been a 13-6 run for the Blues, and the Pioneers need to win 4 points in a row just to extend this set. Whitman with 14 kills now on 32 swings, hitting .281. Lewis and Clark 8 kills, 32 swings, 125. Looking at some of the leaders through this first set. 4 kills from Gushina on 8 swings, no errors, hitting .500. Holmer is hitting even better. She's 3 for 5, hitting .600, and has 6 digs. How about 7 digs from Bartok? And 8 assists for Bruce. For Lewis and Clark, Jensen has 3 kills, 4 digs, and an ace. 2 kills each from Melion Williams and Schuett. Kirschner with 3 digs and 7 assists to lead the team. 24-20, and we will see Haley Bruce serve here. Jensen, a better reception. She'll get it right back from Kirschner, but she's blocked down, and that will do it for the first set. Whitman rallies from a couple of 3-point holes to take the first set 25-20 here from Pamplin Gymnasium. We will take a commercial break and be back with the second set here on PioStream.
Broadcast on PioStream is brought to you by the Lewis and Clark Alumni Marketplace. Go to lcpioneers.com/marketplace and search for products and services offered by Lewis and Clark alumni, including Gardenia Creative, which has chosen to spotlight a nonprofit friend of theirs, With Love. Based in Oregon, With Love has the mission to help foster families change the lives of children ages 0 to 6 by providing resources that nurture dignity, hope, and community. Many times, foster parents find out they are receiving a child mere hours before bringing them home. With Love provides safe, clean, quality clothing and supplies so foster parents can focus on loving their little one. You can help through financial gifts, volunteering, or donating items at withloveoregon.org. Thanks again to alumnus Laurel Carroll and Gardenia Creative for spotlighting this nonprofit partner. Today's broadcast on PIO Stream is brought to you by the Lewis and Clark Alumni Marketplace. Go to lcpioneers.com/marketplace and search for products and services offered by Lewis and Clark alumni, including Pacific Pines Golf and Social Club, the premier private indoor golf experience, offering 24/7 access to state-of-the-art simulators for golf enthusiasts of all levels at pacificpinesgolf.com. Whether you're looking to sharpen your game, compete in leagues, or just enjoy a round with friends, Pacific Pines Golf and Social Club provides a realistic, high-tech golf environment and a welcoming social setting just 20 minutes from Lewis and Clark College. With exclusive membership access, unlimited bookings, and a vibrant golf community, Pacific Pines Golf and Social Club brings the best of the course indoors, rain or shine. Learn more and book a demo at pacificpinesgolf.com.
Disappointing conclusion to that first set for Lewis and Clark, who looked really good in the early going, held the lead for the most part. But now they find themselves in an 0-1 hole, and for a team that has won 4 sets thus far this season, you really need to win this second set. This is a Whitman team that Lewis and Clark defeated in conference play back in 2022. One of their 2 conference wins, one in 2023, rather 1 in 22, 2 in 23, did not win a conference match last year, currently sitting at 0-5. Lewis and Clark certainly feels like they can match up with anyone in the Northwest Conference, but this has been one of the better matchups. Last year, 2 matches were close. Whitman won 3-0 at home, but one of the sets went 28-26, and then the Pioneers won the third set here in Portland, but fell 3-1. Lewis and Clark will start with the service, going from left to right on your camera screen here in the second set. It'll be Melion Williams to serve for Lewis and Clark. Isabel did not have an ace or a service there in the first set, and the Pioneers start the set with a service error. That's now 6-3 for Whitman. Now the Pioneers are quadrupling up Whitman in total service aces at 4-1. Mockery pops it up for Jensen. Looking good for the second straight night. Not just a lot of kills, but efficient on the attack, and she picks up her 4th kill. Now has 99 of them on the year and is hitting close to 300 in this match. She had 3 kills on 7 attempts with 1 error in the first set and has a kill with her first swing of the second. Shoot it into the bottom of the net, and it's 2-1 Whitman. Service coming from Bartok. Kirshner goes out wide for Warwick, and she's a little bit shy of putting it over the net. 3-1 Blues. All 3 points coming on Lewis and Clark errors. 2 service, 1 attack. Bartok. Reception comes from San Diego, and Lewis and Clark gives the over. Through the middle, it's a tip, and a great pancake from Kirshner there. She will put it over into a dangerous spot. put a little pressure there on the Blues. We've got a whistle, and the Pioneers into the net. 4-1 now. That was really nice play by Kirshner. Diving effort, and then she had to give the over, but made it really tough on Addie Belt. Pair of nice plays by the junior setter. Jensen off the block, somehow kept alive by the Blues, and a jumping effort from Gushina will result in a kill. That looks like it was going to be a sure Pioneers point, but good hustle play, and Whitman has built out their lead to 5-1 here in the early going. 4 consecutive points from the Blues. Mockery for Warwick, and she pushes it too deep. Jamie Bartok, the senior libero out of Clear Lake, Washington, leads the team with 173 digs this year, 4.22%. That one somehow got across, and then Kirshner tried to push it across on 2, was knocked right back at her. Jensen, shot that Bartok's able to dig out. One of the, probably the longest rally we've had here in the second set for sure. And Jensen denied a kill as Whitman just doing enough to keep it up. That is San Diego right into the block. Kirshner the back set for Warwick, and she will pop it down the line. Might have been going wide of the line, but Bartok tried to play it either way, and it results in a Pioneers kill. 6-2. As Ebro will head back to the service line. Big time swing, and Jensen able to keep alive that Gushina attack, and then Jensen with what I believe is kill number 100 on the season. Might be 99 as the stats update. But a huge swing, and the Pioneers back within 6-3. Ebro off the top of the net. Did it catch a piece of the tape? It did, and that is an ace. Matt Helm not happy with the call, but the line judge immediately signaling that it had stayed in. Bartok pops it up tight to the net. Short little swing from Addie Belt. Pioneers did not think that one got away without being touched. Jensen was asking for it multiple times, but somehow it got all the way through, and it's another attack error, 7-4. Jensen is officially sitting on 99 kills for the season, has gone over 100 digs in this match as this is popped up. Potts does a nice job to keep that ball alive, and Mockery will push it across. On the joust, San Diego pops it up. This is Kirshner for San Diego, and an awkward left-handed flat-footed touch. Kirshner, the running set, and Mockery will give it across. Lewis and Clark thought there was an infraction on Whitman early in the point, and that will result in a Blues kill. 8-4. Whitman leads. Belt on the service. Kirshner, a jumping set. San Diego off the block of Gushina. And the Pioneers back within 8-5. First time that I've seen Kirshner be the lone setter this year. And she's now up to 9 assists. Was the team's lone setter a year ago for the most part. Kenzie Edwards saw some time, but not a ton, as we've got a Whitman player into the net, and it is 8-5. Jensen from the service line, again, second on the team in aces behind Kenzie Edwards, who we've yet to see today, and a service error. It's now 9-6. It feels like all the points that Whitman is scoring in this set are off of Lewis and Clark mistakes. That's 5 of them now, 3 attack errors and 2 service errors. So Whitman comes up with a kill, and it's 10-6. Lewis and Clark led for most of the first set before Whitman used a late rally. Ibra on the service reception, and a good swing from Isabel Melion. Williams eats up Belts, and it'll be a kill and a 10-7 Whitman lead. Sabato from the service line. Picks out Belts. Pushed across to the far side. That's Holmer. Kirschner wants Schuett. Did it catch the block? They're going to say that one just hit the top of the tape, and it's 11-7. At the service line, first time today that we've seen Lauren Fogliani, and she's got an ace. The sophomore DS out of Bothell, Washington, will force a Pioneers timeout, and when we have it, we'll bring you a look around the rest of the Northwest Conference. There are 3 other matches going on today, and let's see if we have that update for you. It's Pacific Lutheran and Pacific tied 1-1 after. So this is into the second set. These are your second set scores. We'll give you which team won the set shortly. It's George Fox with a 9-7 lead over Whitworth early in the second set out in Newburgh. Puget Sound leads Linfield 1-0. And it's early in that second set between Pacific and Pacific Lutheran. Let's see who won those first sets. Take a look through nwcsports.com. So Linfield and Puget Sound up in Tacoma. It was Puget Sound a close 25-23 win over the Wildcats, who are playing really well this season. Year 2 under their new head coach. Out in Newburgh, it was Whitworth winning comfortably in the first set, 25-18. It's a 15-14 lead in set 2. And the other match that's taking place in Tacoma as PLU hosts Pacific, the Lutes took the first set 25-20. They lead 7-5 early in set 2. Back to live action. It is Fogliani who had the ace prior to the Pioneers' first time out. Mockery will give the over, and cutting through the middle of the block is Kendall Herman, and the first year has a kill. This is a young Whitman team, just 2 seniors in Thompson and Bartok. We have and only 5 juniors, and we haven't seen most of them. It's a lot of first years and sophomores, and they're having some success under Matt Helm. Lewis and Clark gets the side out, 13-8. Again, they finished 5-11 in conference last year. With the win tonight, they would move to 4-2 in the Northwest Conference. They do have to play the PLU Puget Sound combo next week, which is always really tough in any fall Northwest Conference sport. There's an ace for Ruby Kirschner to cut it to 13-9. Kirschner, handled by Bartok, far side. Herman swing. What a move by Kirschner, and then it's Schuett going over on 2, but Herman able to pop it through the hands of Kirschner. Kirschner recognizing there was nothing she could do, just popped it towards the net, and Schuett was able to push it across. Whitman this year had a tough go of it in non-conference play, winning just 1 of their 7 matches, as Melion Williams unable to get it over, but a 5-set win at home against Willamette to start conference play, including a pair of sets that they lost 33-31 and won 30-28. Those are some very long collegiate volleyball sets, as Belt will knock down the Pioneers awkward pass there, and it's 16-9 as Whitman has extended their lead. The Blues then added a 3-1 win over Pacific, fell to their rival Whitworth in 3, fell in 4 to Linfield, but got back on track last night as there's a service error from Haley Pruce with a 3-0 win over George Fox. Leon Williams from the service line, 16-10 Whitman leads. That was an awkward reception there from Gushina, and it results in a Pioneers kill from Jensen. It does seem like Whitman has done a better job when they have that poor initial pass, being able to keep the play alive and extend points. Lewis and Clark, sometimes if they don't get that first pass, they're never able to get into system. Lewis and Clark has, it seemed, picked on Gushina a bit. Kirshner for Schuett. Popped up by the libero, far side, nice little tip, and it falls right in the middle of the Pioneers defense. Sammy Homer with the kill. 17-11, Blues lead. And Homer heads back to the service line. After a brief mopping up. Haven't seen nearly as much of that during conference play. The Pioneers started their season by hosting the Lewis and Clark Invitational. It was about 85 that weekend and had been in the high 80s, low 90s for most of about 2 weeks. And in this brick building, the heat just hadn't dissipated. But fortunately, much more comfortable temperatures since conference play started in late September. 18-11, and Homer with the ace as Jensen couldn't handle that one. Lewis and Clark will take their second timeout. We'll take a timeout with the teams. We'll take a commercial break and be back. It is Whitman leading at 19-11. Teams are out of their huddles. It's 19-11 for Whitman, their largest lead of the match. Lewis and Clark led for most of the first set before Whitman went on a run after trailing 14-11, but the Blues have carried that momentum into set number 2, and the lead is now 19-11. Kirshner for Jensen. Pushed all the way out wide, and Lewis and Clark able to dig it out off the hands of Belts, but Pioneers right into the Whitman block, and it's 20-11. Apologize for the static. We have been working on it, but haven't been able to solve the problem while also trying to bring you this broadcast. Huge swing from Gushina. Takes advantage of that accidental overpass, and it is 21-11 now. Pioneers huddle up. Kirshner calls out directions. And Lewis and Clark was out of position there. Kirshner was trying to rearrange people late, and it results in a point for the Blues. 22-11 now. Pioneers change up their spots on the floor. It's Kirshner through the middle for Schuett, who skies that one, and it's 23-11. Get a 5-minute break between the second and the third set. We will Bring you a couple commercials before the start of that third set here on Pio Stream. Homer is going to pick up another kill. That was it's been a long service run, and she's got a chance to serve it out. So Lewis and Clark has conceded 8 points in a row. Kirschner for Jensen. Dug out by the libero. Schuett wins the joust, and Lewis and Clark able to end that long service run, 24-12, and Schuett, who just won the point at the net, will head to the service line. Bartok on the reception, pushed out wide for Gushino, who went wide, and Kirschner was about to dig it out, realized I'm a foot and a half off the line, and now they are going to say that was off Lewis and Clark. I don't know what they saw there, because they had given the point to Lewis and Clark. Now they give it over to Whitman. And the Blues take the second set 25-12. We'll take a look at a couple commercials. Be back with the third set here from Pamplin Gymnasium. It is Whitman leading it 25 to 20 in the first set, 25-12 in set number 2.
You can have it all. A college that's in the forest and the city. A place that offers inspiring academics on campus and all over the world. An institution that has a graduate school and a law school, so you can make the most of your future.
A place where actions speak just as loudly as words. This place is Lewis and Clark. Plus, our campus is so gorgeous. Campus life is teeming with nature, art, music, and friendship.
You'll work with world-class professors who know you both as a student and as a person. You'll learn analytical and critical thinking skills that will prepare you for whatever comes next.
You'll have a rich life outside the classroom, too. You'll gain new perspectives when you study abroad in unexpected places. Examine ideas through the lenses of inclusion and sustainability. Make friends for life in your classes, clubs, rehearsals, residence halls, and on teams.
Don't forget about that city down the hill. Portland delivers on food, culture, sports, jobs, internships, and networking.
And when you want to explore outside the city limits, the Pacific Northwest delivers on climbing and hiking, oceans, mountains, and deserts. We'll take you to all of them.
It's even prettier in person. This could be your home. Join us at Lewis and Clark.
Today's broadcast on Pio Stream is brought to you by the Lewis and Clark Alumni Marketplace. Go to lcpioneers.com/marketplace and search for products and services offered by Lewis and Clark alumni, including Portland Pet Food Company. Katie McCarran started Portland Pet Food Company when her 14-year-old poodle Rosie lost her appetite and her health started to decline. When there wasn't food with ingredients that Katie could trust and that Rosie would eat, Portland Pet Food Company was born. A family and women-owned business, Portland Pet Food Company manufactures human-grade cat meals, dog meals, and dog treats with ingredients grown and sourced in the U.S. at portlandpetfoodcompany.com. Its mission is to provide pets with the same quality of food that their humans eat, with each product containing 11 ingredients or fewer and is free from any additives. Get yours at portlandpetfoodcompany.com.
welcome. Not as kind to Lewis and Clark. Whitman only with 9 kills in this set, but they hit .318. Lewis and Clark 7 kills, 9 errors, hit negative 74. 4 aces for Whitman, who struggled with aces in the first set. They added 4 blocks and 1 service error. Lewis and Clark, 2 aces, 4 blocks, 3 service errors. So the Pioneers had 12 errors in the set. Plus you add the point for out of rotation. That's over half of the points for Whitman in set 2 coming on Lewis and Clark mistakes. Leaders for the Pioneers, 5 kills, 8 digs, and 2 block assists from Caitlin Jensen to lead the Pioneers. Isabel Melion Williams with 4 kills. 3 from HB Schuett to go along with 2 aces. 2 kills from Christy San Diego, 1 from Abby Warwick. Ruby Kirshner with 12 assists and 6 digs on the opposite side for the Blues, who will serve to start this third set as Jensen pushes it deep. The setter was also the server, Pruce, and it's pushed too far from Belt for an attack error. Gushina, who we picked as the player to watch, has been the player to watch for the Blues. 9 kills on 15 attack attempts, no errors, hitting .600 to this point. 5 kills from Herman, 4 from Homer and Belt. 10 digs from Bartok, 15 assists, and 5 digs from Pruce. We're even at 1, and we will see Sammy Homer, the first year out of Linwood, serve here. Homer's had a nice match, 4 kills, 8 digs, 3 aces, 2 assists. Kind of filled up the stat sheet to this point, and while she won't, I thought she was going to get a point for her team based off a strong service, but it actually ends up being a point against Whitman as the player who went up to pound that one on to the hardwood ended up going into the net, and Lewis and Clark will take advantage of the infraction, and it's a 2-1 lead as Ibra O will send it deep. Pioneers now have 9 service errors versus 6 aces. In the first set, I think it was 4-2, 4-3, but just have not been as successful since then. Potts for Kirshner. That's a crazy-looking kill from Kirshner going over on 2. Instead of just the normal pop to the middle, she kind of flung it over her shoulder there and caught the Whitman player off guard. 3-2 Pioneers lead. They did not lead in that second set at any point after leading multiple times, probably 7 or 8 times in the first set. Jensen service kept alive. Sabato pops it up, and it ends up in the Pioneers bench. 3-0. Lewis and Clark will travel next weekend for the first time. They actually will close out their 4-match homestand on Friday when they host Linfield before heading to Willamette next Saturday. And they'll have 2 more at home against the University of Puget Sound and Pacific Lutheran on the 18th, the 17th and 18th, as Whitman adds to their lead. It's now 4-3. The Blues will return to Walla Walla, and they will host the Loggers and Lutes next weekend. Puget Sound on Friday, Pacific Lutheran on Saturday. Those will be good measuring sticks for Whitman. Off to that 4-2 start. Typically the Lutes would be considered the top team in the conference, but Puget Sound's already beaten them, I believe, twice. Whitworth is 5-0. Puget Sound is 5-0. Of course, Whitworth is the other top team, but Pacific Lutheran's had a lot of success to the point that they won the Northwest Conference title, I think, 2 falls ago in all 3 of men's soccer, women's soccer, and volleyball. Gushina is dug out by Sabato, and a big swing from Melion Williams is tempered by the block. Pushed deep by Gushina once again. Melion Williams trying for the tip, and it just ends up into the net. Couldn't quite time it. Blues lead 5-4. Early third set. They hold a 2-0 advantage overall here from Pamplin Gymnasium. It'll be Gushina from the service line. And forces the overpass from Lewis and Clark, but an awkward pass there from the Blues, and they give the point right back as they couldn't push it across on 3. 5-all, and we'll see Kirshner head to the service line. And Kirshner will get the ace. That one kind of pinballed around, and it was Lily Thompson who couldn't quite control it. Ruby picks out Belt in the middle, and a nice swing from Thompson will result in a kill. Kirshner hit 1,150 assists for her career last night. And she's up to 12 more tonight, so 1,162. She tries to move up the leaderboard for program history. Sitting in 7th, still has a way to go. Kristen Head, who played at Lewis and Clark from 2001 to 04, is 6th all-time with 1,323. It's likely the only player that Kirshner could potentially catch this year. 5th place all-time, Michaela Lopez, 1,654. And Michelle McGinn, who graduated in 2022, who's in 4th all-time, 1,893. Only 3 Pioneers have posted 2,000 or more assists in program history. 8-6, Whitman leads as Fogliani getting her second service run of the evening. Melion Williams, awkward reception, goes over. Schuett pops it back across. Kirshner wants Schuett, and it just rolls across the tape. Women's coaching staff is looking for a call. And Jensen will get the kill from the back line as Manhelm continues to argue his case. I think he thought that Schuett went across the net there to make that touch. Still talking to the down official. And he's going to appeal to the up official, but I don't think Tracy Schofield is going to change her call. He's going to ask his captain, Jamie Bartok, to go over and have that conversation. But Schofield was immediately shaking her head. No, I didn't have that. And that looks like what she's saying to Bartok is Ruby Kirshner, Lewis and Clark's captain. Heads over, just wants to make sure that she's a part of the conversation as the down official will talk to our lead official. They will give the point to Whitman, and I don't think Aaron Lavassan's going to be very happy about that. So 8-6, 9-6, Whitman leads. Takes away what was a really nice kill from Jensen. Melion Williams again struggles with the reception into the net, and it's 10-6. So you go from a 2-point Whitman lead quickly out to 4. And Lewis and Clark needs to keep this within striking distance, already down 2-0. Fogliani attended Archbishop Murphy High School, catches, I've been calling it the tape, it's really the paints. And it is an 11-6 Whitman lead, and Lewis and Clark forced to take the time out. Let's take a look ahead for Lewis and Clark. We've been talking through their schedule a bit, but let's put it up on the webcast for you. Pioneers playing their 3rd of 4 straight matches at home. They'll host Linfield on the 2nd day of fall break on Friday at 7 next week. Then they'll travel to Willamette for their final match of the first half of this double round robin in Northwest Conference play. That will be a 6 p.m. match in Salem next Saturday. Then they're back at home. They opened conference season against Pacific Lutheran and Puget Sound. They will open the second half here at home with the Loggers and the Lutes. Those matches on the 17th and 18th of October. So Lewis and Clark nearing the midway point of Northwest Conference play. it's funny, they're nearing the midway point. Lewis and Clark football opened conference play earlier today. A massive victory over Puget Sound. They're 4-0 for the first time since 2012. They will travel to Willamette next week before heading to George Fox on the 18th, and then the big one, homecoming on the 25th. They will host a Whitworth team that's typically been one of the top teams in the conference. Could be a big-time showdown for Lewis and Clark football. They look to continue one of their best seasons in program history. Just the 10th time in program history they've started 4-0. As Schuett through the block. And off the block and down. A good swing from Kendall Herman. Whitman not only has a very young squad, they have a very young squad who a lot of those younger players play a lot. Seen quite a few first years and sophomores making contributions tonight. Fogliani pushed Jensen deep. That might have been going long. Jensen elected to play it, and then Warwick unable to put it across. And the lead is just like that, out to 7. It was 8-6. Actually, 8-7 when Lewis and Clark had the point overturned. And now Whitman threatening to run away with this third set. Kirshner, the back set for Melion Williams, dug out by Belt. Pushed across, Mockery for Kirshner. Once Melion Williams again. Belt a better dig there. Good block from Lewis and Clark, but they're going to say the Pioneers were into the net. (14-6) in favor of Whitman, looking to sweep the weekend here in the Valley. 3-0 win over George Fox last night. Kirshner out wide for Daphne Ibrao, and she's got the kill. Ibrao off the block and down, and it is 14-7. That snapped a run of 6 in a row for Whitman. Melion Williams, strong service that Belt can't quite handle. Good swing on the opposite side, though, from Herman, and now Jensen cross court. Herman able to keep it alive. Schuett went up, and they're going to say that Schuett was into the net or over across the net. Couldn't quite see the call. Serving here is Haley Pruce. Ibrao dug out. And it's pushed all the way across. Kirshner wants Jensen, been sitting on 5 kills for a while. In fact, been sitting on 5 kills since they took away her 6th kill with a late overturn. And she picks up kill number 6. (15-8) with Schuett to serve. HB handled by Gushina. Out wide. Nice block from Jensen with San Diego there. And Lewis and Clark has cut it to 6. (15-9). Lewis and Clark in desperate need of a service run. What can HB do here? Well, that looks like another ace. HB Schuett back-to-back points, and it's 15-10. HB has really come into their own this year, and that forces a Whitman timeout. Their first since early in the first set. We will take a commercial break and be back right here on Pio Street. I don't know if you can hear the song going on in the background, but I was a little bit caught up in the work of our DJ here at Pamplin Gymnasium. 15-10. As HB Schuett is ready to go, waiting on a ball. 15-10, Lewis and Clark trying to string a service run together, trying to get back into this set. And Schuett, as so often happens, the victim of the timeout to ice the hot server. And it's now 16-10. That seems to happen at an incredibly high rate. It's like icing the kicker in football, where they might be really good before the timeout, but their percentage goes down after having to wait. And a big-time block by Lewis and Clark gets the side out right back. It'll be Lewis and Clark to serve, but none of the ball people recognize that. Ebrau was waiting for the ball so she can serve. Daphne floats service, popped up by Gushina, tight to the net. And Lewis and Clark has a chance to put this over. Kirshner, her first real swing of the night. She's put it over across while setting a couple times, and she just pushes it long. Maybe she's a little rusty. Say that in jest. Ruby's been swinging a lot this year and swinging it well. One of Lewis and Clark's top statistical hitters. Potts for Kirshner through the middle, and San Diego wants the tip and gets the tip. Easily was going to be long, but it did catch the fingertips of a Whitman player, 17-12. Jensen to the service line. She's got one of Lewis and Clark's 7 aces. Schuett leads the team with 3. Both benches getting loud. And Jensen's service is handled through the middle, and Thompson has herself a kill and a side out. 18-12, Blues lead, and they will send Addie Belt to the service line. Lone player out of Idaho on the Blues roster. Great diving effort from Ebrau on the reception. Melion Williams cuts it across, and Lewis and Clark forces the over. Melion Williams pops it up, and Lewis and Clark unfortunately has to give it right back. Bruce pushes it out wide. Gushina off the block, and Whitman gets it right back and unable to do anything with it. 18-13. Lewis and Clark is just close enough where they're in striking distance if they can put together 2 to 3 points in a row. 18-13, set 3. Whitman took the first 25-20, the second 25-12. Out wide for Gushina, double block there between Kirshner and Schuett. And Lewis and Clark thinks they won the point, and they did. Everyone from Whitman stopped. The Pioneers had that ball go off of what looked like multiple players, and Sabato is going to end up with a kill on a play where everyone thought the ball had hit the hardwood, with the exception of Sabato, who kept playing. Really odd point. And Matt Helm looked at the down official and said, "It's not my call." As Jensen for Sabato and Kirshner will push it across. Through the middle, Thompson is blocked by Melion Williams. All the way across for Gushina. Cut shot. Sabato is there. Pioneers trying to cut this to 3. Diving effort to keep it alive by Homer. Right into the middle of the Pioneers defense, and Gushina, who's been so good in this one, will pick up her 10th kill of the match. Gushina now 10 kills on 23 swings, just one error. Under 600, but still well over 300, as Schuett easily caught the block. And that one was very easy for the referees. HB now tied with Melion Williams with 4 kills. The deficit is 4, 19-15. Kirshner at the service line. Has 1 ace today, but serves up an error, and it's 20-15. The Pioneers in the danger zone. And Lewis and Clark will take a timeout. We will take a timeout along with the teams. Whitman leading it 2-0, trying to close it out. Pioneers down by 5 late in set 3. Pioneers down by 5 late in the third set, as we will see Fogliani, who's only been in there to serve today. This is her third service run. And she's been a little bit of a specialist for Matt Helm in his 14th season. Jensen for Kirshner, out wide for Melion Williams down the line, but Belt snipped it out through the middle, and Homer gets it across, but not down. Warwick off the block. And missed time there between Bruce and Herman, and Lewis and Clark will take advantage. All the way out wide. A better swing that time. And they're going to say that Herman's shot caught the head there of Jensen, which is why it was a point. Jensen for Kirshner, and Warwick, a beautiful little tip shot over the block just in front of the diving Bartok. 21-17. Lewis and Clark's gotten it to 4 a couple times, have not gotten closer here late in the third set. Schuett, handled by Homer. Jensen across, diving effort from Belt. Over on 2, beautifully done by Bruce, but Lewis and Clark keeps it alive. Kirshner will push it across. Extended rally between the two teams. 2 Whitman players run into each other. First time we've seen Sam Downey, the sophomore out of Spokane, Washington. She and Homer were going up for it, and it's 21-18, and Matt Helm's going to use his timeout. We will take a commercial break and be back. A tight third set finish probably coming at you soon. 21-18 in favor of the Blues. Whitman, the first team out of their huddle. 21-18. It'll be Schuett at the service line. Schuett has been the team's top server today. 3 aces against 2 service errors. Everyone who has an ace today for Lewis and Clark also has multiple service errors. So while they could really use an ace, they can't afford a service error. Jensen takes advantage of the accidental over, and it's 21-19. Lewis and Clark within striking difference. Striking distance probably makes more sense than striking difference. Shuett into the net, and that's the one thing Lewis and Clark couldn't afford to do, to trade points. 22-19, and we will see Homer at the service line. Homer leads, or is tied for the team lead for Whitman with her 3 aces. Kirshner right back to Jensen off the block, and somehow Homer keeps it alive. Whitman forced to give it across. Kirshner goes back to the well for Jensen, and she absolutely crushed that ball. Self-defense from Bruce. Only reason that didn't catch her in the body. 22-20. Ebro out to the service line. She's had some good-looking serves today. And Daphne get Lewis and Clark back into the set just a bit deep. 23-20. And Lewis and Clark's now at the point where they need to go on a run. There's still a window, but it's getting a little bit harder to come back. Jamie Bartok at the service line. Pioneers matched their highest point total from the first 2 sets. They lost the first 25-20. Potts for Kirshner, for Jensen once again off the block, and Jensen has really been the go-to player recently. She now has 10 kills. Entered this second set with 5. Up to 105 on the year. She's got a double-double, 10 kills, 10 digs. And she heads to the service line, has 1 ace thus far. Pioneers desperately need another point, if not 2 here. That's an awkward reception and an ace. 23-22, both of our players to watch. Kushina and Jensen, who I will say, to be fair, are both the top hitters on their respective teams, are in double digits for kills. So both have had strong matches. 23-22. Caitlin Jensen at the service line. I believe both teams are out of timeouts as well. Kushina tight to the net. Bruce, and it's Thompson who gives her team set and match point. 24-22. Lewis and Clark needs the next 2. They're going to extend this match. It'll be Addie Belt from the service line. Ebrau, a awkward reception, and it will result in an ace and a Whitman set and match victory. The Blues take the first set 25-20, the second 25-12, and despite a late comeback effort from the Pioneers in set 3, it ends 25-22 in favor of Whitman here in the third and final set. We'll bring you the final stats, a look at the upcoming schedule, and a shout out to our production crew before we wrap it up here from Portland. First, the stats. Whitman ends up with a 33-26 advantage in kills in this one. Blues hit 189, Lewis and Clark 065. Both teams finished with 8 service aces. The problem, Lewis and Clark 13 errors to 4 for Whitman. 42-32 in favor of Whitman for digs, and a 6-5 edge for the Blues in total blocks. Looking at some of the leaders in this one, Caitlin Jensen, 10 kills at 231 and 10 digs, hitting over 200 with 10 kills in back-to-back matches. That's what you like to see. Isabel Melion Williams, 4 kills, 2 digs. HB Shuett, 4 kills, 3 aces, and a solo block. Ruby Kirshner had a strong day, 20 assists. That might be her season high this year, added 8 digs. On the opposite side for Whitman, 11 kills, a .417 hitting percentage from Kushina to go along with 7 digs. 7 kills from Herman, along with 4 block assists. Homer had 6 kills and 11 digs. Bartok with 12 digs, and Bruce 24 assists to go along with 7 digs. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for Lewis and Clark one final time. They'll be back in action again on Friday at home. Lewis and Clark will host Linfield at 7 p.m. before traveling to Willamette next Saturday at 6, and then 2 more home matches against Puget Sound and Pacific Lutheran. Let's take a look at our production crew doing a great job on a Saturday night. What's been a busy weekend on Palatine Hill. Harper Campanella, your director. Caitlin McCrae on graphics. Our camera operators, Elise Barton and Chloe Reams. For myself, Seth Dorensky. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Whitman takes it 3-0 over Lewis and Clark.